than lies. And eventually it's all going to come out in the wash. And God's going to decide that time and place. Not you, not me, not anybody else. As much as I would like it to have happened yesterday, because I'm tired of this scene, man. I want to live in a world without any form of money. And I don't want to be around anybody that wants to take advantage of me, have an advantage over me. But this world's filled with those kind of people. People running the show are the least productive ones. Oh, I produce money. Oh, that's really productive, isn't it? I really care. All these top, what are they doing? We don't need them. They're evildoers, man, at this point in history. We don't need the Congress and Senate, any of these people. These politicians, fire all of them. And to take their bankster cohorts with them. We, the people, start our own damn currency. And we, the people, will be the only ones, not we, some of the people, that control what the worth of that money is. But it's going to be with God's help. We need God. I need God. I need God to cope and contend with my own personal issues that I have in my life. You need him for your own personal issues in your life and the collective issues we face. We need God's help. So what I do in this video series, I try my best to give the nuts and bolts about how we are being financially tyrannized. And it's through watering down our currency, through cost of living inflation. Do you understand? The two go hand in hand. And this is what's going on. And it's theft. At the end of the day, the reason behind it is the incentive, the motivation, is to steal from the average everyday people, the American worker at large, the productive class. It's all very simple. So they've got it down to a science. They've gotten rid of competition. They collude on an unspoken level. They just know, hey, I'm on this side. I'm in this group. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a property manager. And I realize that, hey, if I drive up the cost of housing, it's good for me, bad for you. So one man's value translates to another man's burden. And that's what I do. That's my business. You understand? So there's no real competition here. It's price rigging, price fixing, through market manipulation from various collusive special interest groups. You understand? Your currency is supposed to go up in worth if we had any semblance of true capitalism. And the reason is because we find easier and easier methods to produce all the things we want and need. So you can understand very easily why your money is supposed to go up in worth. So all the basic essential human needs particularly become dirt cheap. A nominal fee for your housing costs, your food, the energy needs, water, potable water, that sort of thing. Basic essential human needs. A market basket of goods gets dirt cheap. Your money increases in worth because of that. Because we're living like a civilized society, like a family, like we're supposed to. It creates a rising tide of prosperity that lifts all boats. That's what's supposed to happen. Not the opposite is what I've seen my whole life. That wealth imbalance keeps growing. The wealth disparity keeps growing. Where does it end? I'm scared. We're down this demonic rabbit hole to hell a long way. And only God can help us out. Help us extricate ourselves from the maws of this beast system. We've got to unite. We've got to see that they've been trying to divide us on purpose to keep us discombobulated because we're disempowered. And they want us disempowered, lacking confidence, the confidence to speak out and really speak very clearly truth to power. And everybody else that'll listen, get them on board. Say, are you God's friend? Then you're a friend to humanity. Let's work together here. We have God behind us. Nothing can stop us. That's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We can't be cowards. JFK wasn't a coward. He was showing them what's what. He had already been recirculating a new currency. For all intents and purposes, the Federal Reserve was on their way out. Now look at it. They put us in debt to what? Some $23 trillion and counting? I mean, where does this thing end? We're in one whole hell of a lot of trouble, my friends. And I'm telling you, I'm scared for where this whole thing ends up before we are able to extricate ourselves from this mess. But we've got to unite, and we've got to just, listen to Jesus and the commandments he gave us and love one another, care about each other, pay it forward, man. If your cost of living, you can afford it and you can afford those rent increases, you still got to be the squeaky wheel for somebody else. That's it. You've got to care about other people. You can't say, well, I'm okay and everybody should do what I do. Well, that's not going to work. I mean, imagine we all just demanded white collar jobs. We all had PhDs and master's degrees. And that's it. None of us wanted to do those blue collar jobs. Would that work? So come on, think it through before you come up with some elitist, hypocritical nonsense. Okay? This whole scene is just fabricated, man. It's just a bunch of nonsense. Well, I'm going to run through a few of the recent current events. I talk about a universal basic income a lot. I wanted to point out some of the pros and cons here. And the pros are that it would have vastly less crime, and that includes homicides. Okay, there'd be no need for a social welfare industry, which we pay enormous amounts of taxes to. It would cut out the middleman effectively. There'd be no need for debt, personal or national debt, because we wouldn't need it. I mean, if nobody was borrowing, nobody would need to go into debt. Commuter traffic would plummet overnight. Abortions would plummet overnight. Dubious warfare would dry up in short order. People everywhere would have a greater sense of freedom and security. And the cons are that it would extract money from Wall Street via Tobin tax. However, that money would go full circle as it's spent in your local community and wind up right back on Wall Street. So there really is absolutely no cons to a universal basic income. Just look at it like an extension of Social Security. Because there's a lot of people that would denounce that and say, oh, giving money away, when they gave trillions of dollars to the criminal banksters who caused the need for the bailout of '08. The need, okay? There was no need. That's not capitalism. You let people fall on their faces. That's risk. That's capitalism. If you're an idiot flunky, you overextend yourself, you go down the tubes like you deserve to. These banksters, and they put it on the backs of the people. So the average people end up paying that debt. That's it. Through currency debate, they just water it down. You understand how that works? How they keep floating this debt? They just keep watering it down. I'll take more of that money, because even once you boil it back down, I've got more of the concentrate. They understand. You get it? They buy real hard assets like gold and silver and real estate and all this other crap. You understand? They leave you, we the people, regular everyday people, holding the bag. They're evil, man. There's so much stupidity in the world. I kind of feel sorry for all these guys out there that they were financially well heeled before they found their beloved, because in the back of their mind, they're probably always going to wonder for the rest of their lives if, the fact that they had lots of dough had anything to do with what attracted their beloved. So, I sure hope I find a beloved before I end up with gobs of dough. It may not wind up that way, and I may end up in that same sad boat. But I know there's women that are like-minded like me, that they get it. We should think eternally. Yeah, I got to live in the here and now. I gotta feed the beast too. I gotta spend money. I gotta try to love it. I love it for being able to pay my bills and for what it does for me. God understands, but eventually I'll be so happy when there's no form of it at all in existence. And I want a woman that shares that same kind of philosophy, that understands things from God's point of view. I want a beloved more. If you offered me all the tea in China, $50 trillion, I would turn it down for the hand of my beloved. That's what I got my values straight. And I'm trying to teach right values to other people. You notice how the mainstream media, they focus on the record highs on Wall Street. They won't touch this national debt. They won't talk about how exactly that's being paid off. Well, we're creating more multi-billionaires every day, more and more poverty, more and more need for the social welfare industry. And who's doing that? Who's creating the poverty? They won't talk about that. This national debt. Sickening. Well, friends, I got to call it quits there. And enjoy your Thanksgiving. Remember, blessings not counted are blessings missed. Best to everybody.